Ryan stood at my door with tears in his eyes. I finally told him why I pushed him away, but I feared the truth came too late. 3 months earlier, he ended our relationship because he thought I did not love him anymore. He did not know that I was afraid every day. He did not know why I stayed late at work. He did not know why I stopped answering his calls. I wanted to protect our relationship, but my silence destroyed it. To explain how I reached that moment, I must go back to the day my manager first asked me to stay after work. But before I begin, I want to remind you to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment to help you improve your English. At that time, Ryan trusted me completely. I also believed nothing could come between us. I was wrong. My name is Sophie, and I was 29 years old. I worked in a small business office. Ryan and I were together for almost 1 year. He was kind, calm, and honest with me. We met after work 3 times each week. On Sundays, we often cooked dinner together. Our relationship felt safe and simple. I thought we understood each other very well. My manager was Mr. Collins. He was polite during my first year at work. Then his behavior slowly changed. He began to stand near my desk for too long. He asked personal questions about Ryan. I did not like those questions, but I stayed polite. One Friday afternoon, he called me into his office. Then he closed the door. Mr. Collins smiled and pointed to a chair. "Sit down, Sophie," he said. I sat near the door. He asked about my work for several minutes. Then his voice became softer. "You work very hard," he said. "We should have dinner sometime." I thought he meant a work dinner. I asked which workers would come. He smiled again. "Only you and me," he said. I felt very uncomfortable. "Thank you, but I cannot," I said. "I have plans with Ryan." His smile disappeared for 1 second. Then it returned. "It is only dinner," he said. I stood up and repeated my answer. He opened the door and let me leave. I hoped the matter was finished. On Monday morning, a large pile of new work waited on my desk. The new work was too much for one person. Mr. Collins wanted every task finished that week. I worked through lunch each day. I also stayed late on Tuesday and Wednesday. When I asked for more time, he looked at me coldly. "Good workers find a way," he said. Ryan waited for me at a cafe on Wednesday evening. I arrived almost 1 hour late. He tried to smile, but he looked hurt. "You could call me," he said. I told him work was busy. He asked why it suddenly changed. I wanted to tell him about Mr. Collins. However, I feared Ryan would come to my office. I feared he would make the problem worse. So I only said, "It is nothing serious." Ryan looked at me for a long time. He did not believe me. The next week, Mr. Collins changed my work hours. He asked me to come early and stay late. Other workers left at 5, but I often stayed until 7. One evening, he came to my desk after everyone left. "You should not work so hard," he said. "We can leave now and get a drink." I stood up quickly. "No, thank you," I said. "I am going home." His face became hard. "Your job is important, Sophie," he said. "Many people won your position." I understood his meaning. He did not say he would fire me, but his message was clear. I left the office with shaking hands. Ryan called me 3 times that evening. I watched the phone ring, but I could not answer. The next morning, his message contained only one question. "Are you trying to leave me?" Ryan wrote. I called him at once. He answered, but his voice sounded tired. I said work was causing problems. He asked me to explain. I tried, but fear stopped me. I did not want to repeat Mr. Collins's words. I also felt ashamed, though I did nothing wrong. "I only need some time," I said. Ryan became silent. "Time away from work or time away from me?" he asked. I could not give him a clear answer. That evening, we planned to meet at my home. 10 minutes before I left work, Mr. Collins gave me another task. "This must be ready tomorrow morning," he said. I knew it could wait, but he refused to listen. Ryan waited outside my home for 40 minutes. Then he left. I found Ryan's message when I reached home. I cannot keep waiting for someone who does not speak to me. I called him many times. He finally answered. I said I was sorry. He asked why my manager always controlled our plans. I almost told him everything. Then I imagined Ryan coming to the office in anger. He cared deeply about me. I knew he would want to face Mr. Collins. I feared losing my job. I also feared losing Ryan, so I gave him another weak answer. My manager is only strict, I said. Ryan became angry. Then why are you hiding things from me? He asked. I told him I was not hiding anything. The lie hurt me as soon as I said it. Ryan heard the fear in my voice, but he understood it in the wrong way. Ryan began to think I loved someone else. He never said it at first, but I saw it in his face. He asked why I stayed at work with Mr. Collins. He asked why I never wanted him near my office. I became upset because his questions felt unfair. Still, I knew my silence caused them. One Saturday, we met in a quiet park. Ryan held my hand and asked one last time, "Please tell me what is happening." I looked at him. I wanted to speak. My mouth opened, but no words came. I feared his anger. I feared my manager. I feared everything at once. "Nothing is happening," I said. Ryan slowly moved his hand away. His eyes changed. For the first time, I saw that he no longer trusted me. After that day, every talk became an argument. Ryan wanted answers. I wanted more time. He said I was cold and far away. I said he was putting pressure on me. Neither of us spoke about the real problem. At work, Mr. Collins became more direct. He said I could have easier hours if I became more friendly. I refused again. The next day, he removed an important task from me. He said I was not ready for more responsibility. I felt trapped. At home, I cried alone. I wanted Ryan beside me, but I was the person pushing him away. 2 days later, he asked to meet me at the same cafe we first visited together. His face told me this was not a normal meeting. Then he placed my house key on the table. "I cannot do this anymore," Ryan said. I stared at the key. I asked if he wanted to end our relationship. He looked down. "I do not know you now," he said. "You are always somewhere else." I wanted to shout the truth. I wanted to tell him I still loved him. Instead, I only said, "I am sorry." He waited for more, but I gave him nothing. Tears filled his eyes. "I kept asking you to trust me," he said, "but you never did." Then he stood and walked away. I stayed at the table long after he left. My silence saved nothing. I lost Ryan, and Mr. Collins still controlled my days. The following Monday, my manager called me into his office again. This time, his request was even clearer. Mr. Collins said we should spend Saturday together. He said it could help my future at the company. I looked at him and finally understood something. My fear was giving him more power. I already lost Ryan. I could not lose my respect for myself, too. "No," I said. "Do not ask me again." His face became red. He said I should think carefully about my job. I told him I already did. Then I gave him a written report. It listed his requests, my late hours, and his threats. I also sent a copy to the company director. My hands shook, but my voice stayed clear. Mr. Collins told me to leave his office. I returned to my desk and waited. By the end of that day, I received a message from the director. The director asked me to attend a meeting the next morning. I brought my work messages and my schedule. I explained everything in simple words. I did not add anything. I did not hide anything. Mr. Collins also attended part of the meeting. He said he only wanted to help me. Then the director showed him his own messages. He became quiet. The company removed him from my team during the review. My work hours returned to normal. I kept my job, but that was not my greatest change. For the first time in months, I felt that my voice belonged to me again. Still, one painful truth remained. I faced Mr. Collins, but I never faced Ryan with the truth. That evening, I opened our old messages and began to write. I wrote Ryan a long message. I told him about the first dinner request. I explained the extra work and late hours. I told him about the threats. I also admitted my biggest mistake. I thought silence would protect us, I wrote. Instead, it pushed you away. I did not ask him to forgive me. I only wanted him to know the truth. I sent the message before I lost my courage. Ryan did not answer that night. He did not answer the next morning. I told myself he needed time. Still, every hour felt very long. At 6 that evening, someone knocked on my door. I opened it and saw Ryan standing there. His eyes were wet. He held my message in one hand. Then he asked the question I feared most. "Why did you not trust me?" Ryan asked. I let him inside. I told him I feared his reaction. I thought he would face Mr. Collins and lose control. Ryan looked hurt. "You decided what I would do," he said. "You never gave me a choice." He was right. I said I felt ashamed and afraid. Ryan sat across from me. "You did nothing wrong," he said, "but you left me outside your life." I began to cry. I told him I understood that now. I also told him about the report and the meeting. He listened without stopping me. Then he said he was proud of me for speaking. However, he could not forget the pain at once. I understood. The truth opened the door, but it could not repair everything in one night. Ryan and I did not become a couple again that evening. We started with honest talks. We met once each week. I answered his questions, even when they were hard. He also spoke about his fear and anger. Slowly, trust returned. 2 months later, we decided to try again. This time, we made one clear promise. We would speak before fear created its own story. My work life also became calmer. Mr. Collins never returned to my team. I learned that saying no does not make me difficult. Asking for help does not make me weak. Most of all, I learned that silence cannot protect love. It only leaves space for fear and wrong ideas. The truth may be painful for one moment, but silence can hurt the people we love for a very long time.